what message you are ready to receive. And we're going to do all uprights today. And we'll get about 3 cards. We have the 8 of Pentacles to start us off. We have the Page of Wands. All right, and one more card for us. The Queen of Cups. Okay. If there has been something that you have always wanted to do, especially in terms of your career, your professional life, or a passion project, a hobby that you have always wanted to start, something that's really close to your heart. And maybe you've been working at it for a while, but it hasn't really taken off or progressed the way that you would have hoped it would. So maybe you started to write a novel years ago, but once you completed it, you didn't really end up, being able to get it published. Maybe you weren't able to find an agent, or maybe you're kind of stuck somewhere in the editing process, or maybe you got halfway through, but you weren't really sure where to go with it. I'm just giving an example. This can be applied to several things, like maybe you started an Etsy store and you had high hopes for it, but it just never got the customer traffic that you were hoping for. Maybe you had steady progress, but it just wasn't giving you the return on your investment that you were hoping for. And I think when you started that process, you were very optimistic. Or if you're thinking about starting this process, you have a lot of optimism about it, but it has taken time, right? And more time than what you were expecting. Or for some of you, because all of you are in different phases of this process, Spirit is kind of giving you a heads up of, hey, this is going to take longer than you initially to expect to get the return on your investment that you're wanting. However, comma, with the 8 of Pentacles here, all of that time, please don't look at it as wasted time. That entire time, you were building up your skill level. You were getting better and better and better at this thing. And if you're thinking about starting it and you haven't yet, I feel like Spirit just wants to prepare you that there is going to be a longer journey ahead than what you're anticipating initially. However, the reward is going to be so great. And for those of you who have been working at this for a while and you haven't been seeing your return on your investment, you are getting there. So please don't stop. I'm getting this message of don't stop right before you're about to have your big break. Don't give up. Because what if you quit tomorrow, but if you had just put in the effort for maybe a couple more weeks, that would have been when you saw a big up-leveling in traffic to your Etsy store, or that's when you would have gotten a call back from an agent for your novel, right? So don't quit before the breakthrough, because it does feel like you're on the precipice of something here. With the Queen of Cups, you're about to make a really big dream of yours come true, something that's close to your heart. And again, if you haven't started yet, they're just trying to warn you that it is going to be a process, but again, it's going to be worth it. And you're getting better. It's not wasted time. You are getting better. Remember why you started. Remember this Page of Wands. Remember that sense of optimism. Don't ever let go of that. Don't ever let go of that initial spark of inspiration that prompted you on this endeavor to begin with. And the thing is as well, it's almost like they're saying, if we had given you the success you would have wanted right out the gate, immediately, or soon after you got started, you wouldn't have been ready for that level of success. You weren't at the skill level yet to maintain it. It would have been a flash in the pan level of success. You wouldn't have been able to sustain it. The cracks would have shown. So for example, this could be like a band getting their big break and they have a hit song, but because it was almost like a fluke, almost just like a stroke of good luck, divine intervention, after that, they don't have the skill level to back it up. So it's like, that's all they ever do. They're just a one-hit wonder. They don't ever manage to top that song. Or if they do, it's many years later and they've lost their momentum. People have forgotten about them. Or this could be like a debut author having their novel published, but their skill level isn't at what it should be. So then they have really low stars on Goodreads. And people, make fun of their book, and, it's a big joke. It's popular, but it's a joke. And then the author ends up being embarrassed. And then it takes a long time for them to feel good enough about themselves to write again. Whereas if they got their big break a little bit later in their career, when they had developed their skill a bit more, they could have a New York Times bestseller that also has a good rating on Goodreads. And has positive feedback from the audience, positive feedback from critics. If your first novel ends up tanking, yay, you got published, but is anyone going to want to publish your second book? Are you even going to feel confident enough to write another one? So there's a reason for this. There's a reason that Spirit asked you to be patient. And honestly, I can resonate with this myself. Just last night, I was looking back at some of my early videos and I was like, man, my camera quality or like my lighting or like, you start to kind of pick apart, all of the things that you started out doing and everything that you would have done differently and, all that good stuff. And I'm like, had my channel blown up on like, let's say my third video, the quality would have been so low, right? Like, I've gotten so much better, even just in understanding how to navigate YouTube and how to, edit and things like that. Like, not even talking about reading cards, but just knowing that stuff. Or even if I think about, had I started a YouTube channel right after I learned tarot, I was doing tarot for like 2 years, at least, before I started my channel. But had I started my channel like back when I was just learning tarot, I would have been doing a disservice to myself and also my audience because I just didn't know what I know now. I just didn't have the skill level that I have now. So I probably would have given people readings that didn't resonate. And I mean, that can have a damaging effect on people, right? And so I don't know, like, especially never want to give people like false hope or have people worried for no reason, that kind of thing. So I feel like there's a reason for all of this. Even if it doesn't make sense to you at this time, there's a reason why Spirit wanted you to kind of build up your progress brick by brick and wanted you to be ready in terms of your skill level before you have your big break. Let's get any more messages here. This is one of my favorite oracle decks. I feel like it's been way too long since I used it. You're gonna see this more on my channel because I don't know, it was just hiding in the back of my little bookcase and I was like, hey, buddy, we haven't seen each other in a minute. We have ancient ruins. Build a castle from the ruins. Devastation, loss, and old wounds. Oh, wow. Some of you may have abandoned this project, or you may have taken a break from it. It may just be like, let's go back to that example of a novel. Maybe it's just sitting on your laptop, and you haven't even done anything with it in a long time. Maybe it's half done, or maybe it's done, but you just haven't taken that next step to start trying to find an agent or looking into self-publishing. You just haven't done anything with it. It's like you started to build, but you didn't finish. And so this could be Spirit encouraging you to pick it back up. Don't give up when you're primed for a breakthrough. Come back to it. For others of you, this could also be referring to this idea that if what you're trying to do is, especially if it's a creative project that's related to like your healing process, like trying to find purpose through the pain. So maybe going back to that novel example, maybe you wrote a story about a character who has a similar struggle to you or has gone through similar life experiences. I feel like Spirit is saying, like, you can find prosperity through your pain. You can find purpose through your pain. Don't let it be for nothing. Understanding that it's not just the success, it's also the healing. There's a lot of benefits to picking this back up or sticking with it. Like, you need this. You need to do this. We'll get one more card for you all. We have Crystal Waterfalls. Clear your mind and cleanse your soul. More about healing, cleansing, and recharging. Yeah, I feel like this is very much necessary for your soul. Like, your soul, this is related to your soul's purpose. So your soul is like craving for you to get back to this, or to stick with it, or to start it. Wherever you're at in the journey. Again, for all of you, it's going to be different, but your soul is really craving this outcome. And it's almost like sprinkling fairy dust. I feel like Spirit is saying, we are helping you. We are supporting you. We promise you are going to achieve what you desire. But we need you to get back to it. We need you to stick with it. We need you to start it. And trust the timing. Trust the process. And we want you to be in the best possible position before we bless you with this success. We want to have you primed for it, you know? We want you to be in this beautiful, clear space to receive the blessing of success. And even your bottom of the deck here, Cosmic Highway, the universe is on your side. Signs, divine guidance, synchronicity, keep going. That's what we've been talking about for your entire reading. Like, don't give up. Keep going. We have the angel number 555. There is a big change up ahead. You are about to level up. But you gotta stick with it. You gotta stick with it, or pick it back up, or get started. All right, group 1, let's end your reading with a message from the Spirit Cats. Your final message from Spirit on this topic. All right, we have Catalyst. Meet Luna. She may seem a little ominous at first, but don't worry. She is truly here to help us. She is the catalyst. She is the kiddie form of the Philosopher's Stone, the magical alchemy that metaphorically turns lead into gold. She might shake things up like a crazy thunderstorm, but the sky will be so much clearer afterwards. She is the maven of breakthroughs and revelations. When Luna crosses your path, you might feel a shiver, but don't be afraid. That is only the first sign of a miraculous shift. We were talking about a breakthrough, and here we have that word, a breakthrough. A catalyst. Spirit is going to intervene soon to propel you forward on your path, to help you achieve success. It may end up shaking things up a bit for you, so be prepared for that. But what it's going to do is clear any sort of barrier out of your way so that the path forward is clear. So be primed, because you're about to experience a big shift toward success. Lead into gold. From pain to prosperity. So it is happening for you. I also just like Catalyst, and it's the cat spirit deck. That's cute. Okay. And I think also, if we think about Luna and the phases of the moon, right? I mean, this has been a process. This has been a journey, like we've been talking about. And if you haven't started yet, it will be. All right, group 1, this was your reading. I hope that it resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm wishing you the very, very best, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Please take care. Group 2, let's go ahead and get into your reading. We're going to take 3 cards upright. Group 2, and I'll give these another shuffle. Group 2, divine timing. We've got the 5 of Swords. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups. Okay. 5 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, King of Cups. And the World card also almost came out. And your bottom of the deck here is this 2 of Pentacles. Okay. Group 2, the thing that I'm noticing first with this 5 of Swords is this little black kitty cat kind of kicking this white one out of this box here, right? It looks like they're kind of fighting over, cats love boxes, so I'm assuming that they're fighting over this box here. But then we have this little black kitty cat sitting alone and looking kind of sad with all these pentacles. And then we have this white kitty cat here on its own island, also sort of patiently waiting. What I'm getting from all of this is this idea that you have had a lot of experiences in your life where people haven't been quite fair to you. You may have found that people really tried to manipulate you, undermine your self-confidence, did things to try to keep you small. Maybe they belittled you, maybe they were condescending. Maybe you've encountered a lot of superficial friendships, people that just stayed in your life for a season. Maybe there's a lot of infidelity and heartbreak in your romantic past. Maybe you don't have close family or family that you can rely upon. Maybe you had a really difficult childhood. Maybe you don't even speak to your family. But I'm just getting this vibe that your interpersonal connections have been rough. That doesn't mean that this has been your experience with every single person in your life, but it appears to be a repeating pattern where you encounter these sort of selfish, self-serving people who are really looking to be right all the time, who want you to feel insecure, who want to really feel like they're doing better than you. You know, like there's almost like this sense of competition. Because the 5 of Swords can talk about besting someone. So it's like, it's not that I don't want you to have anything. I'll let you keep these like 2 little sprigs of lavender here. But I want to have 3. I want to have more than you. And I've said that before on the channel. You know, sometimes it's not that people want to see us doing horribly, but they just don't want us to do better than them. Now, some people do want us to suffer, but sometimes it's just that, you know, they just want to be a bit better than us, you know? And I feel like you have done a lot of work to try to separate yourself from that. And with this 7 of Pentacles next to the King of Cups, it's like I'm just patiently waiting for my soul family. Like I'm just patiently waiting for a friendship that's gonna last and be healthy and stay in my life. I'm just waiting to be able to have a sense of found family. I'm just waiting for a healthy romantic partnership. And with the King of Cups, this tells me that you've done a lot of healing. That tells me you've done a lot of shadow work. You've done a lot of just deep personal self-reflection. And you are emotionally mature and ready for a healthy, lasting connection with others. And I feel like part of that process for you was more about learning your own self-worth, what you deserve, what your boundaries are, how to set them, how to hold them in a healthy way, how to advocate for yourself in a healthy way. Like, you had to develop a healthy sense of ego. Because I think before, because of your environment, not because of something inherently wrong with you, but just because of your environment and the people around you, you had a debilitated ego. And I mean, maybe you were taught that as a child. I know that when I was a kid, my mom, anytime I would come to her and say, like, so-and-so said this to me and it was really hurtful, or so-and-so, I don't know, like yelled at me, or, so-and-so did something bad to me, right? She would always excuse the behavior, even if she didn't know the other kid or the other person. She would say, well, Bethany, maybe they were having a bad day. Well, Bethany, maybe they lost their temper. It would always start with, well, Bethany. But, well, Bethany, sometimes you do that, and she would almost like turn it back on me. And so I just kind of felt like she was never on my side. She would never say, they shouldn't have done that to you, or that was wrong, And I'm sure maybe there were times where she did, but, especially when you're a kid and you encounter something over and over again, it just feels like it's always like that. And I mean, on one hand, it did have a positive outcome in that I became very compassionate and empathetic, because I started to think, instead of being upset with someone, I tried to understand why they acted the way that they did, and understand that other people are going through things too, and the way that they treat me might not have anything to do with me. It might have to do with something going on in their life. And, maybe that's why they were short-tempered and they were rude to me, or, whatever the case may be. However, it always teaches you to think about someone else's needs and emotions and motivations before you think about your own needs and protecting yourself. So there was never any balance, right? And so when you're overly empathetic or overly compassionate, and if I look at my birth chart, I have a lot of 7th house placements, and maybe you do too, group 2. If you have a lot of placements in the 7th house, let me tell you, you pick the right group. But, and I'm sorry if I'm talking too much about myself. I just want to give an example and give context here, and let you know also that you're not alone in this, that, like, I've encountered this to a degree myself as well. But group 2, when you have too much of anything, it can be a negative. So even too much compassion, too much empathy for others, it can come at the expense of having a healthy sense of ego. We all need a healthy sense of ego, because that's how we advocate for ourselves. That's how we protect ourselves. That's how we assert our needs and wants, which are also equally as important as the needs and wants of others. So you have learned how to assert your ego in a healthy way, which I think was very much necessary. I mean, I don't think, again, like, it's not that you were the problem. It was just your environment taught you to almost make yourself smaller, to make yourself less important than those around you. So it's almost like you were taught to be a wallflower. And I mean, maybe you were also taught that, children are meant to be seen and not heard. Maybe you were taught to be quiet. And so you kind of just shrunk into yourself. You didn't learn how to speak up for yourself, again, in a healthy way. So we see you here patiently waiting for your ship to come in, patiently waiting for the right people to enter your life. We have Sky Library, learn from your past, lessons, guidance, and wisdom. We have Cold Lands, learn how to keep yourself warm, abandonment, challenges, and aloofness. And we have Grandma's House. I always think of this as Grandma's house. I This card here is what made me want to purchase this deck. It's my favorite card in the whole deck. But it says, you don't have to face everything alone. Comfort, nurturing energy, and support. And you know, this is a more specific message, but I think it's because I resonate a lot with this energy myself. And I did a reading recently on having a fear of abandonment. I believe it was group 2 in that reading. It was one of the future spouse readings that I did. You may be from that group. You don't have to be, but maybe if you watched that reading as well, maybe you had that group. But I resonated a lot with that group in that reading as well. And when I saw the word abandonment here, I thought, yep, of course there's a fear of abandonment. Because you have been abandoned, or you've had to walk away, forced to abandon the people that you did have around you. So either they left or you were forced to leave because their behavior was so bad. And for me, like my grandma, my great-grandma, they were safe spaces for me as a child. And my grandma's house was home, and I did live there for a time as a child. And that was always my safe space. But my great-grandma, she's not here anymore. So you may have encountered something like that as well, where you did have someone that you had a secure attachment to, someone that you were close to, but maybe they passed on, maybe they're not here anymore, and now you just have a spiritual connection with them. And that's hard too. That's really difficult. When like the one person you want to talk to just isn't there anymore. And so from all of this, I do have good news. So your patience is paying off here. Your willingness to walk away or to heal from connections where you were essentially mistreated, maybe even possibly abused for some of you. Connections where you were just repeatedly hurt that weren't good for your self-esteem or your self-worth. You are definitely in a place now to meet your soul family. Friendships that will last. Found family, a romantic partner where it's healthy, like you are ready for that. You have learned from your past. You've done your homework. And so Spirit is saying, like, you don't have to face everything alone. We know that you have been, but you see how this is like a progression here. This is a story. First, you learned from your past. You got wiser. You did your healing. You did your inner work. You did your self-reflection. You were alone for a time, almost like on a hermit journey here. You faced a lot of challenges all on your own. You developed a sense of self-resiliency. And now you're ready for people and support again. You're ready. I don't think Spirit wants you to stay in the cold lands. They don't want you to stay in this energy. They don't want you to feel like this anymore. So it is divine timing for soul family reunion. It is divine timing for you to meet your life partner, your future spouse, if you're interested in marriage. It is divine timing for you to have friendships that feel like family. Or even for some of you to reconcile with family if that's something that you're wanting to do. Okay, we've got freedom here as your spirit cat message. So pretty. I like how the colors here kind of mimic the colors in Grandma's house a little bit, especially like the purples and the orange. That's really cute. Okay, we have freedom. Meet Lucy. Oh, like lucid. Okay, I like that. She is awake in her dreams, like lucid dreaming. I swear, it's so cute. Like, I forget the author. Oh, Nicole. I can't say her last name. Piar, the creator of this deck. She does such a good job. I mean, there's so many cute little details in these cards. But anyway, meet Lucy. She is awake even in her dreams. One of her favorite things to do is fly in a lucid dream. Okay, yeah, lucid dream. It is the most natural, free, and expansive feeling. You can go to outer space, imaginary lands, deep under the sea, to the top of Mount Everest, even through the earth itself. Propelled simply by the power of your mind and your will. This little kitty is calling you to embrace that unbound freedom of flight and dreams. What is your wildest dream, your craziest, most heart-expanding, joy-filled plan A? If you were completely free, what would you do? Oh, I like this a lot. And you know, maybe that was a coping mechanism when you were around these people that were so, just bad for you. Maybe you used to disassociate, maybe you used to daydream a lot. Maybe you used to retreat in your mind to kind of cope. I feel like if you kind of take this advice, if you do something that's going to help you feel free, if you start to follow a dream that you have, that could be kind of the final stepping stone here to that alignment with your soul family, with your life partner, with your found family. Because I do think when we're aligning with what we want to do and what's close to our heart and we're living our lives authentically, that is when the right people come into our life. That's when the right circumstances align for us. So maybe this is something to consider, group 2. Okay. And I feel like also, maybe you were never encouraged to follow your dreams. Because again, we talked about this idea of you being taught to limit your potential, to keep yourself small. Maybe Spirit just wanted to say, hey, we know you never got that encouragement before. We are giving you this encouragement. We believe you can do it. I know no one ever taught you to dream big. They taught you to keep yourself small. But we want you to dream big. Because you deserve it, group 2. Okay. This was your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it resonated. I'm wishing you the very, very best. And I hope to see you in my next one. Please take care, group 2. Group 3, welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We'll get 3 cards today, all upright. Group 3, divine timing for you to receive this message. Group 3. The Queen of Swords is really in my collective, man. I mean, she comes out I think at least for one group every reading. Okay, Queen of Swords, Ten of Swords. Oh, we've got 2 cards. That's okay though. Your bottom of the deck is the Hermit card. No surprise to see the Hermit coming out either. I feel like that's another energy I frequently see. We have the Five of Cups as well. And then we also have the 10 of Pentacles here. Okay, group 3. You've been in a very difficult space. With the 10 of Swords, it's a pretty intense card, right? Usually with the 10 of Swords, there are 10 swords piercing the body, right? Here we have these sprigs of lavender, but I just keep hearing the phrase laid to rest. Laid to rest. And the way this Queen of Swords is kind of presiding over these other cards, and I didn't intend for this when I laid them out, but I just sort of noticed it. She almost looks like she's commanding this scene. And, you know, with the Queen of Swords, you could have significant air sign placements, but you don't have to. But if that helps you confirm that you chose the right group, that's awesome. We have Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini with the Queen of Swords. But the way she's presiding over this scene, I feel like this is you taking control of the narrative, having a higher perspective, because she's on these sort of angel wings, right, on this little cushion. So you having a higher perspective, a bird's eye view of your past and what you've been through and where you want to go with this 10 of Pentacles. So you're laying the past to rest. This 5 of Cups, you want to be done with it. You know, the 5 of Cups is sort of this temporary disappointment. This thing of, this didn't work out the way that I expected. What I hoped for didn't come to pass. I had all of these expectations. And that's what I feel like this is. I feel like this 10 of Swords is the 5 of Cups repeating like 10 times in your life. And I think you're starting to understand that it's your own expectations that really get the best of you. You know, it's like I expected too much, or I expected things to go a certain way, because the Queen of Swords, she likes to be in control. She really does. She has a really tough time when things are not in her control. And so I think that over and over again, you expected too much, or you expected a certain outcome, or you thought things should go a certain way, and you kind of stubbornly hyper-fixated on that. And so I think in some ways, you kept breaking your own heart. And I think a lot of this with this Queen of Swords is you redirecting your focus and letting go of this, laying it to rest as we discussed, because it's like I have bigger fish to fry now. I need to redirect my energy to what I can control, because my power does not lie here. My power does not lie with the 5 of Cups or the 10 of Swords. It's time to lay this to rest. I just keep hearing that phrase, lay it to rest. Be done with it. Let's not beat a dead horse anymore. So with this 10 of Pentacles, this is what's calling to you. So you're like, let me focus on my wealth. Let me focus on this, because this is within my control. And the 10 of Pentacles doesn't just have to talk about money or material resources. There's always a family with the 10 of Pentacles. And so it could be that you're looking to have better balance in your life between career and personal, professional and personal. Let's actually get some more information about this 10 of Pentacles. The 3 of Wands. For some of you, if you've been wanting to relocate, you have divine support. Spirit supports that. If you've been wanting more, if you feel like something is missing in your life, Spirit is saying, yep, focus on that. Focus on the absence of what you want. Because that is where you need to bring your attention to. Because there really needs to be a sense of balance here. There's this feeling of your life being a bit out of balance. You can see even with this 10 of Pentacles here, there's 4 Pentacles on the bottom. It's not 5 and 5. You need more balance. You need a balanced approach. And moderate your expectations. 2 of Swords, yeah, you have a decision to make. We're not focusing on the past anymore. It's time to look to the future. It's time to look to the horizon. What is next for you? There is no peace in the past. There is no peace to be found in the past. The past is dead. You can't change it. Temperance is all about balance. Balance and patience and handling what is outside of your control. Handling the external forces in your life with grace. Having faith. Moving with grace. We have the Devil. Unchain yourself from the past. And if there was anything that was breaking your own heart, anything that was keeping you disappointed, it was your own expectations. Either you were putting too much emphasis on one thing, or you were expecting too much from the wrong people. If this is about love, there was nothing wrong with you expecting to have a healthy, loving connection in your life. You were just expecting the wrong people to give that to you. You put your faith in the wrong people. Your bottom of the deck is the 6 of Swords. It's like Spirit's like, come here. Come here, little one. Come on. Let's get you away from all this. Come on. It's time to leave the past behind. Come on. Walk with me to your future. Come on. Let's go. Let's sail away. Let's go. It really feels like Spirit just wants to scoop you up and take you away. You need a fresh start. And part of that is clearing out your own mind. Laying the past to rest. Some of you may I guess some of you feel like you've done this, but there's something lingering in your energy. Something is out of balance here. There's somewhere where you have not made peace with the past, and it needs to happen. You need a clean break here. And if there's any decision that you've been putting off, something in your life where you know it's not sustainable, you got to make a decision. Whether it's a person, place, or thing in your life, you have to make a choice here. And it has to be from a place of intuitive knowing. But it's time for a fresh start. It's time for a new chapter. It's time for you to step into the future that you were meant to have. We have halfway point, meet in the middle, temperance, yeah, balance, compromise. Oh, it says compromise right there. That's so funny. Common ground, reconciliation. I feel like this is almost like a deal that you need to broker with Spirit here. This is the deal that you need to make. Like you have to make peace with the past. That's what they're asking of you. And if you can do that, they'll meet you in the middle. Your power is in your present. It's not in your past. You keep looking to the past, you disempower yourself. You've learned what you needed to learn. Stop revisiting it. Move forward. So let's meet in the middle so we can get you where you need to be. We've got pleasure point. You'll like it up here. Abundance. Yeah, I mean, come on. You'll like it up here. Get away from the past. Move on to the future. Get going. Be present in this moment. And we'll help you get to a place to where you are happy. Your bottom of the deck here is home. Come back to yourself. Come home to yourself. Belonging. Celebration. Stability. It's like you haven't felt at home in your present. So it's like you retreat to the past a lot. And I don't think it's because you like the past, but I think it's because you have a lot of regret and remorse. But there's no changing what has already been done and gone. So it's time to come home to yourself. It's time to make peace. It's time to practice acceptance. And from that place of acceptance, you can enact change in your life. Spirit wants you to feel at home. They want you to have a safe space. They want you to have a soft landing. They don't want you to have to use any form of escapism with the Devil card. If you've been using certain things to escape, video games, shopping, I don't know. Anything you've been using to escape your daily reality, Spirit doesn't want you to have to do those things. It's time for you to come home. And they're calling you back home. And for some of you, like I said, this could definitely involve a relocation, a physical relocation. It's time to change the energy. Let's get your final message from Spirit Group 3, your Spirit Cat message. Meditation. Meditation is all about being in the present moment. Okay. Let's see your little kitty here. So cute. Okay. Meditation. Meet Chutney. One day after a particularly deep meditation, he began to radiate and float. He loves to simultaneously be fully present in his body and his spirit. By simply closing his eyes and observing his breath, he is able to feel what is truly going on within himself. Each subtle sensation becomes vivid with its own unique texture and energy. His mind is like the wide open sky, and his thoughts are like the clouds floating by. He watches them arise and dissipate without judgment. Practice with Chutney and watch your awareness brighten until life itself becomes a moving meditation. How cool is it that you got this card, right? And you started off with the Queen of Swords, who is literally floating. Like, she is floating. And we were talking about this Queen of Swords having a bird's eye view, a higher perspective over the rest of the reading. And then your final card is about this cat radiating and floating. His mind like the wide open sky. She's in the clouds. Observing thoughts like clouds floating by. That is so cool, because the Queen of Swords also deals with the mental. Swords always deal with what is mentally going on with you. What is going on in your mind? If you're looking for a place, like, okay, you've told me I need to make peace with the past. You told me, it's time for a new chapter. You told me blah, blah, blah. How do I start? How do I do that? Start with meditation. You are going to get so many downloads. And I know meditation is hard. I struggle with it. It's not easy. But you can do it. With practice, you can do it. And I promise you will get the divine guidance and signs that you need. It may feel awkward at first. It may take some time. But even if you don't believe in getting downloads from Spirit, even if that's not something you believe in, you will at the very least be improving your mental health. Meditation is an incredible coping skill and much better than whatever you're doing with this devil card. And no judgment. You know, the devil card's not a bad card. It's a really useful one. And we all have things that, you know, aren't healthy coping skills, right? Maladaptive coping skills. We all have at least one. So no judgment with that. But it's not beneficial, right? This meditation, helping you stay present, it's going to help you so much, group 3. It really is. I just love this synchronicity. I love this so much. When I see like things like this happen in readings, it just reminds me of how rewarding this is for me, how cool it is, how amazing it is. It just makes me fall in love with tarot over and over again when I see a cool moment like this. All right, group 3. I'm so excited. This was such a good reading. But I'm wishing you the very best. My heart goes out to you. Fingers crossed for you. My prayers are with you, all that good stuff. I'm wishing you the very best. I hope to see you in my next reading. Please take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. I know you're the Queen of Swords, but still be gentle with yourself. Take care, group 3.